Hey guys.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
Before we jump into this episode, this is Editing Maggie in the Future coming at you, and I just wanted to let you guys know who won our anniversary giveaway. Thank you so much to everyone who entered in the first place. We had so many people join our Facebook group, which is so exciting. So if you did go join, make sure you go introduce yourself. If you haven't joined yet, you can totally join at any time. The link is in our bio. And oh my gosh, just reading all of your reviews and the nice messages and comments that you left us was so sweet, and it's so much fun like being able to actually put faces to the people that we're talking to every week. But anyways, I know you want to hear who won the Kindle and all the fun other prizes. So that person is, drumroll please, Victoria Kuchar, not sure. VICTORIAKUCHAR. Girl, you are our winner. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for entering our anniversary giveaway. We appreciate it so much. I will be messaging you on our So Glad We're Friends account and sending all those prizes out to you shortly. Thank you to everyone who entered once again. It really means so much to us. And just the fact that you take an hour out of your week to listen to us talk is so cool. So thank you so much. Let's get back into the episode this week.
Wait, so you're saying that you've been like staying up really late? Or why is your
Yeah,
schedule
I've been
weird?
staying up late and sleeping in late. It's so bad. I don't know how to fix it.
But that might not be bad. Like, are you being more productive or something later into the night?
No.
Oh.
I'm just staying up
She's
till
crazy.
midnight and reading and looking at TikTok and stupid stuff.
Daisy Jones and the Six fan fiction.
Fan fiction.
Oh my god, is there fan fiction?
Devin's writing it.
There's a little bit. No. Okay. You know how I told you guys my ADHD thing? Like I got this like wild hair up my ass that I could write something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's no good fan fiction for like where the show ends. So I was like, I could totally write this. Like, why don't I just write it? I want to be a writer. I'm like, I feel this calling to me that I'm going to write a novel one day. So why don't I practice with fan fiction? And I got like really into it for like a weekend, and I haven't touched it since.
How far did you go? Like, I feel like I've started
many
like
pages
at
do you
least 10
have?
books, but they're like
I just
4
started
chapters.
like basically word dumping, like outlining. Like I've only outlined like the first and second chapter. So
I love that so much. Like, and also that you started with an outline. That's like,
well, I was like, okay, I have all these like ideas in my head, so I just need to like not worry about it sounding good and stuff. I just need to, get it out.
Just get it out.
Yeah.
you should put it on Wattpad.
Well, it's not done at all, so I couldn't. So it
Well,
would
you
be
can
like
do it like one chapter at a time. I used to love that with fan fiction. Like, literally, people would write it, and I'd be like, "It's Friday. There's a new chapter out." Like, you'd get so excited.
I know, but there are like a couple of them that I've been following have just died out. Like, and I don't want to be that person where like people start following my series and then
you stop after 2 chapters.
Stop caring. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it was funny that I was just like, oh my god, I should do this, and then I like stopped caring.
Yeah, the meme that I sent them is that ADHD is being pretty good at basically anything you want to do and absolutely terrible at anything you need to do to live. It's so true.
Literally every week there's something new that I just start and I'm like, yes, this is it.
That's why we are like successful on social media, but like it's such a strength and weakness because we get so obsessed with things that we learn about it or we just do it without questioning it. But then also like it's hard to focus and you lose that focus. Sometimes it just like turns off.
Yeah.
And you can't really control it.
Reading the comments of our giveaway posts and like new people who are joining the Facebook group, I didn't know how many of our listeners also have ADHD or like struggle with a lot of those same things. Like it seems like a large group has to do with like the working from
really
home
nice.
and ADHD and all of that stuff that we talk about.
It seems like everybody I know has ADHD.
Yeah.
I know.
And then when they don't, I'm like, you must be so lucky. Like your brain must be so pleasant.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. I'm like, what is it like? What is
I
it like to
know.
be normal?
Like how much better at things would I be? I mean, I guess we wouldn't necessarily be better at things. I'd be better at being like organized and focused.
Yeah, but then I wonder how much of society as a whole has like made us all like that, with everything being so fast paced and technology and everything. It's like there's no attention spans, so it's probably just made everyone so much worse.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to just be like super overstimulated all the time.
That's something
Because
I've
of,
been
like-
learning a lot about. You have to have the perfect amount of stimulation in order to be able to focus on things. And if you don't,
Yeah.
it's like torture.
I agree. I even think just doing like little things to make things more exciting is nice. Like if you can just even getting like, I just got a new pack of like the Sharpies. I think I told you guys. And like having like, I think how many colors is it? Like something like 36 colors.
Oh,
Like,
I love that.
I know. It just makes it so much more fun
It
Yeah.
to like
really
dive into
does.
projects and stuff.
I got 2 new notebooks last week and some G2 pens. Those are my favorite Pilot
love
G2
that.
pens, and I was very excited about it.
I miss back to school shopping.
Dude, I
I
was thinking that the
know.
other day. I was seeing TikToks of people back to school shopping in Target, and I was like, this is the most nostalgic feeling ever. And like the Halloween decorations starting to be put up next to the back to school, and like getting your backpack and everything. Oh my
Getting
god.
a new pair of shoes, picking out all of your folders and binders and like tab dividers.
Yes.
It was
And
so
then like
exciting.
not using the tab dividers or the binder the rest
Not
of the
being
year.
organized actually at all.
Yeah.
Were you guys
I
like the
tried
kid who just
so
had loose
hard.
papers shoved in your backpack?
I would really try
would
not to.
Yeah. I would like get to a point where like my desk or whatever would just be trashed, and then I would like organize it all. Like it was like a whole thing of I think we had like indoor recesses and stuff, and me and my friends, we would like all like work on everyone's desk. So it would be like my desk, and then we would work on the next person's desk. We would like organize it and like throw out the trash and like everything else. And then it's the same thing of like now, like real life now, like my room is a disaster. And then I like spend like a weekend just picking it up and organizing it and putting it away, throwing out the trash, like all this stuff. Just,
Yeah.
like, things never really change.
Yeah.
It's so funny too, the like transition when like at elementary school or middle school where you stop wanting to get like the like cutesy folders or like the fun ones, because I don't know if you feel like you might be embarrassed or you're like, I'm too cool for that now. And then you switch to like the plain colors.
It was the best when Lisa Frank was the thing, and you would get like a Lisa Frank folder and binder and like the pens and like erasers and backpack. That was so cool.
I always hated when my mom like bought the shitty like erasers and like pencils and stuff, and like that didn't actually erase, and then you're like trying to make it work. And then there's always somebody who had like the top of the line like products, and we would always like try and use them. Like, hey, can I just use your eraser? You're just like so much better.
My mom wouldn't dare pick out my school supplies. I had to be with her.
Same. But I would definitely always get the fancy mechanical pencils, and all of my friends would fight me to steal the fancy ones.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny.
It was such like a positive and a negative at the same time.
Why? Because like
what
you'd
is
be
that
nervous for
word?
school?
Contrast? Yeah, because like you didn't want school to start, but like getting the school supplies was a fun thing.
Yeah. Did you like the first day of school though? I loved that.
Yeah, I kind of loved starting school.
Same.
Not really. I'm so shy. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's like this weird feeling. Like I can kind of feel, it's a very specific feeling that you felt every time the first day of school and the last day of school.
I can
and
almost
it's
feel
kind
it
of
right
both
now.
positive and negative. Yeah.
I do feel that. I also think that I had like, especially in high school, playing sports, like I had a preseason. So a month before I was like working out with all of my friends, and it was just kind of like building up the hype. And then going back to school, it was like we had already kind of caught up and made those connections. So it's probably a little bit easier for me just because we had like kind of connected with everyone for a month or so and like been through hell.
Yeah. And like been at the school and stuff.
Yeah. I never switched schools, so like I always had the same friends and
like
stuff.
K through high school?
K through 8th grade was all the same.
Okay, and then high school
everything.
you went to.
And then high school I switched. And like probably 40% of my middle school went to the high school. So it was just like new people, but mostly like elementary school and middle school, I'd just be nervous for like what teacher I would have. And I'd be like,
yeah.
Or like, where am I going to sit? Like,
I feel like my life would have been so different if I grew up in a situation like that, as opposed to like
how many
always
schools
having
did you go to?
I went to one school until 3rd grade, and then my dad moved, so I went to a different school from 4th till 6th, and then our elementary school branched off to a bigger middle school, which was 7 through 8, and then our middle school branched off into an even bigger high school, which
Dude, that's why it's stressful. That is so stressful. Like every few years, you're like, oh, gotta do a whole new school again.
So did your elementary school, like, was it only until 3rd grade and then everyone moved schools, or did you just move
my dad moved? Yeah.
Okay.
I just moved to a different school.
I definitely know that there's some middle schools that do like the 5th and 6th grade, and then like 7th and 8th are a different school. We just had 3 schools.
A lot of middle schools here, a lot of elementary schools will go until 8th grade here. But like I happened to be at the one where you got to go to middle school, which is cool. Like middle school seems like such a cool thing, but like it's stressful when you keep getting lumped with even more new kids.
Were they all public schools?
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a charter school from 1st to 8th, so I think that's also why it was very small.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I really liked going to middle school. I felt like much more grown up.
Yeah, you feel it's different.
Like legit,
you're switching
like
classes.
A real person.
You get your locker for the first time? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't
have vibe like in middle
ever.
school is like, or elementary school is like, you were just like a baby. Like you are treated so much younger. And once going to middle school, like you just got a little bit more autonomy and like.
For sure. Honestly, middle school was my prime. Like I would rather go back to middle school than high school.
8th grade was the best year ever for me.
So fucking awkward in middle school.
I got my braces off in 8th grade. I had like all my best friends in 8th grade. Like
I had a really time to be alive. Girls. Coming back after getting your braces off with some McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, leaving school for orthodontist appointments was the best.
Yeah, and then you come back, you're like,
I got kicked off the cheer team in 8th grade.
What? Why?
For not coming to practice enough.
Why'd you not go?
I didn't like it. I didn't have any friends on it, and I started making new friends, and I always wanted to like hang out with them after school. And I just
did you just like skip practice? Or did you like
I would skip a couple of times. No, I think I would tell my coach, like I'd make up some excuse. I have to babysit my little brother and sister or something. But we had like early morning practices too, and I would like never go to those because I'm not a morning person.
That you were skipping?
My parents didn't care.
So were you even sad when you got kicked off? Because you were like, I don't even want to do this.
Yeah, I was still sad because she made me. So
you were like, I want to have my cake and eat it too. Like
the cheer coach. Well, I didn't want to be kicked off. Like I didn't want to be. Yeah. The cheer coach was also like the drama teacher, and I had drama like the last period, and she's like, can you stay after class so I can talk to you?
Oh no.
And then she told me that I couldn't be on the team, and then it was like the whole cheer team was standing outside waiting for me to like leave.
What?
Or something. Yeah, and she had I don't think I was at practice that morning, and so she had like taken a vote with the whole cheer team to ask whether or not I should be allowed to stay on the team or not. And I guess they majority voted that I shouldn't. I know. And then I was like sobbing, and like all the cheer girls were like giving me hugs and stuff. But little did I know they had actually backstabbed me earlier.
I am shocked. That is,
I know. My mom was so pissed.
How old was that teacher? Like looking back, she was probably like 25 or something.
Yeah, maybe 30.
It is kind of funny, like how young some of the teachers are. Like 22 years old, 23 years old is not that old. And
yeah, I know, it's crazy because I feel like now it's like they're so close in age.
Yeah.
Like one of my really good friends' little sisters is an 8th grade teacher, I think, and she's like 23 or something.
Wow, yeah,
that is so
or 24.
Weird.
It is so weird. I'm like, wait, but how
do they
listen
like
to you?
Really old at the time, though.
I know it does.
I think my math teacher when I was in 7th grade was like 23 or 22, and all the boys had like such a crush on her, and she seemed so old. Like she seemed so old at the time.
We had a high school teacher. I don't know exactly how old he was, but we started seeing him out at the bars when we graduated high school and we're like in college. And one of my friends actually hooked up with him a few times.
Slay, that's so cool.
This was like after we graduated. Like we were like in college for like a few years.
Like I would never imagine.
But it's like it wasn't that big.
Like Pretty Little Liars.
She was like 21 or 22 and like he was like 28 or 30. Like that's not really like a huge.
No.
That's a really
Did you know that that's like that TikTok couple that's very, very famous? Their baby's name is Sutton. Tom is the dad. What is the mom's name? They were just like in Italy with Emily Kaiser. They're like they're very, very popular. It started with because he was making dinners for her to help her get pregnant. And then they ended up writing a cookbook called Meals She Eats.
Oh, she's like, what do you want to eat?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've
she
never
has,
like
PCOS
followed them.
They're very, very, very popular, but like it's like kind of scandy because when I think he was like her football coach or something, like like the football coach at the high school when she was in high school. But it's kind of that similar thing.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
It is weird. I got kicked out of National Honor Society in 8th grade.
Oh no! For what?
I was drug dealing.
Wait, what were you doing for the drugs again? Wasn't it not like a real thing?
I brought no-dos. It's like literally
like caffeine
pills. Yeah, and I gave it to like 3 people.
Caffeine was the drug back in the day.
It was like Red Bull, even get Starbucks. Yeah, I just like, oh, this is cool. Like we could have it like having coffee, and I gave it to like 3 people, and then by like 4th period, somebody came knocking on the classroom door, like, Maggie, we need you in the office.
Did you truly think of it as an innocent thing? Like
I truly did. I thought, obviously, I thought it was like we're being cool, kind of, or like it was sneaking like coffee or something. But I didn't think it was like a drug or that I would be suspended or anything like that.
She was suspended?
Yeah. But it sucked because everyone I gave them to got in-house suspension. And they like had to deal with like our mean teachers and sit in the office all day. And I was at home.
That is a worse punishment. Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually much worse than just being at home doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
This girl I went to high school with got suspended for 2 weeks for having her birth control in her backpack, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
At least that was the rumor, but I was in her math class, I think, and she was gone. I think it was junior year. Yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
Yeah. It was absurd.
It's not like you're mad about popping pills. That makes me so mad, actually. Like,
I know.
How weird.
Like that.
So dumb.
School systems are whack a little, especially in Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of families and our childhoods, today we're going to be talking about like our families and how I moved away and Brittany moved away and Devon is still with her family. We've kind of all taken different life paths in that sense. But I'm like, this is so perfect to talk about today because saying goodbye to my nephews yesterday, I literally was bawling for like 2 hours after the fact. Like it is the hardest thing ever, and like the bittersweetness of being so happy here and also being so sad at the same time is so confusing in my mind.
Yeah, that's so hard.
I didn't even think about the timing of this episode because then I was just with my like entire extended family last weekend, like the weekend before last, and so it's all like very fresh of like missing family and wanting to be with family more.
Yeah, it really is. I could cry right now.
How was it? What were you guys like celebrating your brother-in-law? Like,
yeah,
was
we
it just
also
kind of like
just
coincidental.
It was coincidental that it was that time, but also they were supposed to get married in San Diego, so I did get to see the venue that they were supposed to get married at and stuff. So that was like special to be able to be together during that time.
Yeah.
But we normally go to Mission Beach all the time, but we haven't been for 5 years. So it was just like cool to go after all that time. And my stepdad's kids came in from California, so it was like big giant house. I think there was like 17 of us.
Wow.
And you guys stayed pretty far down. What's it?
I've never stayed that far down. North? It was literally right next to, I have no fucking idea which direction that is.
Well, the ocean is west. I have the same conversation with my mom and sisters. Like, the ocean is always west.
Okay, the ocean is west.
So
why can't I work backwards?
No, north.
South. North, east, south, west. Yes, it was south.
Yes,
towards
that makes
Belmont
sense.
more. I've never stayed that far towards Belmont,
south.
But it was actually so much fun because like you just could like walk to all the like fun little shops and everything. Yeah. It's a little loud at night.
Were you close to the beach?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like we say, like right on the beach. Like you just walk over the little wall and then you're on the beach.
That's so nice.
Yeah. It was very fun and relaxing. But like literally just like going to say goodbye to them and stuff, like they don't understand because they're so little still. So like literally Connor, he's 3, and he was just like, the TT, like why would you ever have to go back to Washington? Like can't you just come back to Arizona with us?
You're
and like it's so sad. They say it the whole time.
They're so manipulative.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'll see you in like 8 weeks. Like, and that's so long to them. Like, they'll literally tell my sister, like, why haven't we seen TT in so long? Like, it's been extra long.
That's really sad. Is your sister in Arizona?
Yeah, and she like will not leave. Like, where our parents are, she will be 100%.
If your parents move, will she move?
If my dad and mom and her mom all move, then she would. But my dad is the same, where he won't ever leave. Probably, I don't think my dad would ever leave.
If her mom leaves, would she move?
Probably not. I think my dad is the most thing because also my dad helps probably the most with the children and like babysitting. Oh,
that's really nice.
So like that is a huge thing that all the parents help. Which I'm sure once I have kids, I'm gonna be feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like, I'm never leaving you guys.
Did you have those thoughts at all when you were deciding to move? Like, or were you just like, I want to get out of here?
Thoughts of once I have kids,
like
or thoughts
leaving your family or missing your family or missing out on things?
For sure. Like, I think first initially it was more just like the fun, exciting of like, oh, I can leave. And I also always had in my mind, like, I can always come back. I never thought like, oh, I'm leaving and I'm never going to ever come back again type of thing. But Owen was only 2 when we moved. And so I don't know. It was like I got to experience his whole baby stage, and I didn't even have my third nephew or my second nephew at the time. So it was like I felt like I got to experience his babyness. And then once I moved, it was like, oh, holy shit, he grows so much within 2 months. And then the hardest was once Connor was born, because Connor was born in January 2020, and I didn't get to see him until January 2021.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
He was first born. Yeah. I watched him be born, but then after that.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I missed all the baby stuff, like, and that's just by far the hardest. And also like my grandma, like people getting older too is also hard. And our parents.
Yeah, that must be hard to like not see them every single day and then come back and like kind of notice that they're getting older.
Yeah.
That would be so hard.
It's really weird.
I think the growth of like the babies too is a hard one, because you're just like, you blink and they like are
you physically
actual
see.
Like human and grown up more.
Yeah, like you physically see what you miss. Brittany, does your family before you moved and everything, how often would you all hang out and stuff?
Well, that's what I was kind of like thinking about. Was I went to college like in my hometown, so I would come home like whenever I wanted, and I would like sometimes stay the night there. I would sometimes like I had my college campus like apartment, but then I would come home and do like laundry on Sundays, or just come and like hang out with people, you know,
so
if
like
there
at
was
least
like
once
dinners
a week or something.
I think so. Sometimes more too. Like if I was like really stressed, like if it was like finals time or like midterms or like exams or anything, sometimes I would come home and just like spread out on like our dining room table and like study and everything. So that's why I think I was like very ready to leave. And then the other thing is that Chicago's like a 4-hour drive back to Ann Arbor. So
Yeah.
it was like also very easy to like pop back home whenever I really wanted to. It didn't feel like that far away.
Mm-hmm.
But did you
in
stop
comparison.
popping back over like less and less, or start
Yeah.
doing it less and less, being
Yeah.
that you're 4 hours away?
I think I did something like in the fall, like not just for Thanksgiving. I think I did like a football game or two in the fall. I'd go back one or two times, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas I would do like 2 weeks or something. And then in the spring I think I like trickled off more because I was just like more busy and just doing stuff out and about. But it just didn't feel like as far away. It didn't feel like so like hard to get to, versus like when my parents moved to Austin, that was a lot harder to be like, oh, okay, now I have to like plan a flight to get back home.
Yeah. That's hard.
Like,
and then
paying
those
for it
trips
all,
became
too.
way less frequent than before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
I don't know.
now it feels way more, just like you just feel way more separated because of
I feel very separated. And the fact my sister's in Ohio too. So like even when my parents had moved to Austin, and like Ohio was like the next closest place, it was like 6 hours. And so that was like kind of a trek to get over to. We did that like once or twice during COVID, and that just seemed like forever to try and get to. And then like trying to coordinate everyone getting to Austin at the same time is also like so hard because everyone's schedules are different. And I feel like lucky because I just had a ton of PTO. Like my job was so flexible, but my sister had like 10 days or something for the year, and like her husband had like 10 days. And so it was trying to like coordinate around their schedules. And whereas I could just be like, okay, yeah, I'm coming. Like, it's fine. I'm just going to hop on the plane and go. And for her and her husband, it was like, okay, it's like a big deal that they're coming and like making the time. So I think that was a lot harder too, to like get everyone together.
Hard.
What about you, Jeff?
Well, I don't know if this is the case with, is your sister Maggie the oldest?
No, my brother is.
No. Because like I feel like the responsibility of holding the family together or something.
Well, it's funny because we still talk about, literally on this vacation, we made a whole video of the oldest daughter on vacation because 24/7 my sister's like, did you put sunscreen on this? Are you sure you want to wear those shoes on this walk? Like 24/7, constantly just like trying to parent us. So literally we made a video on it. But I think that that's true. Even if there is an older brother, it really is like the oldest daughter kind of takes that responsibility of like holding down the fort, kind of.
Yeah. And I think even if, I mean, I am shy and I would probably have a hard time. Like I couldn't just move to a different state by myself. But I could think about maybe if I like with a best friend and we were moving for a reason, or like with a partner and I was moving. But there's always like this back of my mind, like I can't though, because not only am I the oldest, but like I'm a people pleaser. And I know that it would just like crush my mom if I moved far away from her.
Yeah.
Like the first time I signed a lease on my first apartment, I texted my mom and told her, and she cried, and she told me that she cried. So it's like, okay, like those are the things.
How old were you?
That I was like 25.
When you signed your first lease. Yeah. And she was like, no.
And sometimes she makes fun of me. Well, Devin lived with me till she was 25 because my youngest sister is like the same person as me. Like,
yeah,
she still lives with my mom and she's 21. And I'm like, Mom, you literally cried when I moved out.
Yeah.
So like, don't
even come at me with that.
So like I have those like, I mean, I haven't gone to therapy, but I feel like there's something to be worked out there where it's like, I care too much about how other people feel. And I put that before my own feelings and wants and stuff. And those become my wants and feelings. So
For
like
sure.
I can't do things or say things or feel things without worrying about how other people feel about it.
Like moving allowed me to like help, like it helped me stop that, I guess, like escaping that and like not having their opinions, I guess, as much right in front of me, because I only now get it when we're crying, saying goodbye, or like talking about how we miss each other and stuff. But like, I'm not constantly hearing their opinions every single day and like then trying to please them because of it. It's like I have my space to like make my own life.
That's really nice. I think that's interesting too, Devin, because my sister's husband's family is like very much the same way. Like my sister and her husband bought a house that's like on the same property as his grandma. Like and my sister's husband's mom is like bought a property that's like right next to their property too. So like his entire family is like within, you know, a stone's throw of them. And so my sister actually, like when we were moving, like planning on moving, we're like, okay, we're gonna like go somewhere else. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna do all these things. She's like, you should come to Ohio. And I was like, no, like, that's not the vibe for me. Like that's not really what my like dream is. That's just moving to like a smaller city, like Midwestern city. That's not going to give me anything that I want. But she was very adamant about it because she's like, I love having the family together.
Yeah.
And she gets to witness that because of like his family. So I think that also makes it really hard. And I think I have like taken my family for granted because like those interactions, and like even my sister was with me this weekend and it was just so fun to just live life together. And she brought a friend and they kind of did some stuff by themselves, but it was really nice to like have her around and hang out. And I think that we've also like, I think something that's hard with siblings, and probably I don't know if you feel this, Devin, of like you sometimes revert back to, and maybe you too, Maggie, like you revert back to like your childhood self or like your teenage self of like how you are with your siblings. And I find that like me and my middle sister do that. Like we revert back to like who we used to be. And me and my baby sister, I feel like we both grew up and now we're like friends as grown-ups. And I think that makes our like relationship easier because we kind of like have a mutual respect for like where we're at in life now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wondered,
but
do
it
you
also
think
makes
that's
it harder.
the age differences? Like that you and your middle sister were like, because you're closer, that makes you revert more back to your
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's just like lack of time spent together as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also haven't like spent as much time with my baby sister. I don't know what it is, but we just like revert back and we're like, it's fine for the most part, but we do like slip into like really stupid like fights and shit that would just, I'm like, why are we even having this conversation right now? Like this is so stupid.
That's more
or like
how
that was really mean.
Yeah, that's more how my brother and sister are, and they're 3 or 2.5 years apart or something. So like, and then I like almost never fight with them. I think just because of our age difference is so huge. It's like there's nothing really to fight about.
Yeah. And they probably now see you
over text,
and she leaves the group chat, and then I don't apologize.
Evan,
did she remove herself?
Yeah.
In the whole family group chat?
Well, there's only 4 of us.
What do you say?
One time I said that she sounded racist. And I was arguing with her about it. And she just left. Chat.
Did you continue talking to her? Like separately chatting on text?
No, we just pretended nothing happened.
How does it work when she rejoins?
We'll just add her back in and we'll just pretend like nothing happened.
That's so interesting. Wait,
but I don't take it seriously. I'm like, I'm fucking with you. Like I'm just trying to help you grow and learn as a person. But she gets so offended by it. I'm like laughing. I'm always the one laughing in an argument, and the other person is like mad at me for laughing. We're 10 years apart though. So I'm like her mom.
Yeah.
Not really anymore, but when she was younger.
That's really funny.
I asked her if she had any like memories of me when she was younger. Like, what did you remember me as? And this is the only thing she could think of. I remember you really loved Lady Gaga. I was like, that's your memory of me when you were a kid. Cool.
Does she think you were cool? Because like you would go see her concerts and everything?
She didn't elaborate. She just remembered that I liked Lady Gaga.
Give me more.
Did you like her when she was born and stuff? Like, were you excited?
I was obsessed with her and Jake, yeah. I was so obsessed with them. I remember when Jake was born, I didn't even want to go to school. I wanted to be at home, like, taking care of him.
That is so cute.
Were you like 8 or you were 10 years old for Jake?
I was 8 when Jake was born and 10 when Logan was born. Good mothering age.
Yeah, and that's literally my brother's 11 years older than me and my sister's 8 years older than me. It's the exact same, but opposite.
Cute.
And that's like,
That's really funny.
remember them taking care of me, and they did the same thing. They were like, we have to go to school on the day she's being born. What the heck? This is not fair.
I know, it's sad.
Yeah, and it definitely adds, like, it was always a more parental relationship until and kind of recently. Until I moved. Yeah. Like, that's kind of the start of our, like, full sibling relationship and being able to be more myself. Like, I kind of like put on a facade all of teenage years.
That's actually a really good point too, because like I left the house while my sister, like my baby sister, was still in high school. Like she was like a freshman or sophomore, and then I like went off to school, and then I moved to Chicago, and she was like just graduating high school, I think, or whatever. And so that makes a lot more sense where like I didn't really get to parent her as much like through high school and like those years. And maybe that helped a lot, because I definitely was like, me and my sister were just like on top of each other all the time, like my middle sister, because we were just in.
She probably thought you were so cool though, of like that you were off to college and doing all those things.
Did you think your older siblings were cool, Maggie?
Yeah, I think.
Because, like, I don't know if when it's your sibling, I don't know that you, like, think that they're cool.
I did when I was little until I was probably in high school. And then I was like, you guys are fucking lame. What? But when I was little,
I wonder, I followed such a traditional path, though, that, like, I don't know exactly, like, what my sisters necessarily thought of it.
Yeah. Well, there was also
I think my parents commented a lot on like the fact that I like did all the things.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And I think that that's like harder because like before I graduated college, I had a job, and my middle sister didn't. Like I think she took like 6 months or 9 months, which is completely normal to find a job. And I think that like comparison is hard. And then my other sister, my baby sister, just took a different life path. Like so, I just took the most like traditional thing.
It's like hard. Like I felt it wasn't even. I don't think my parents even did it purposefully or not even accidentally. It might even just be something that I picked up on. But like they both got their masters. They both had straight A's all the time. Like my sister got 1 B in college. Like my brother bought his house when he was like 21. Like just all of these things where I felt like I was not living up. So then I almost had to like go far the other way to be like, okay, well, I'm just doing my own path then, and I'm not gonna fit into this family.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that Devin, you kind of mentioned about like being more comfortable if you had like a partner or a best friend to move away with is I had like a bunch of people I knew in Chicago already. And then I also had a really good job that I was moving with. So like I was really confident that I would like make my rent and like be able to pay for groceries and go out and like do all these things. So I wasn't like moving with this uncertainty of like, am I going to make it? Like I had the confidence and like I knew with, especially with my job and everything and like friends that I would be fine.
How did you know a bunch of friends there?
People just like move to, it's like a common place that people move after school. So I had like at least a handful of people I knew, and then the friends I knew like had friends, and so it was just like a very easy transition moving there.
I was honestly thinking about spending a lot of time next summer in Colorado, like for a month at a time or something, you know, just because like I want to be like a snowbird in Arizona. That's where they get the fuck out of here in the summer. But I was like, okay, where would I go? I was thinking about how I would love to live near my cousin because she's always out doing stuff and I want to be invited and like out doing stuff. And then I was like, wait, Brittany's in Colorado. Like I should literally go.
Make you come with me everywhere.
Yeah, that would be so fun. And then like my managers are in Colorado. Like I know people in Colorado. So like that would be a good like just little summer house because I hate it here in the summer so much.
the fact that your cousin's there too is a big thing for you because you guys are pretty close.
Yeah, and I don't feel uncomfortable like asking her to do things with me or like, you know, being honest with her like about things, which is the hard part, I think. Like being
in our
vulnerable
friendship
with
we
your
already
friends.
know.
And yeah,
like
I wouldn't
you're
feel...
like, Brittany, we've hung out the last 3 days. Like,
yeah.
It's enough. I'd be like, okay, fine. Yeah. There would be no offense taken.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. That
really
does
cool.
make it like a lot easier to have the community there already and like know what to expect, kind of. Like I wouldn't have moved without Cameron for sure. Like I would hope that I would eventually. Like I always wanted to. So in my mind, I hope that I would have. But I don't know.
Like you kind of need an opportunity or a person to get you to do it, you know?
Yeah, like I always thought like a friend would move with me. That's kind of what I thought. Or like me and my friends would always be like, let's move to San Diego. Or like I always wanted to move, but I don't know if I ever would have actually done it by myself.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Brent?
Did Cameron always feel the same way? Because like Cameron's family is in Arizona too. Or is like most of his family there?
Yeah, his siblings are also in California and in Colorado.
Okay.
So that's kind of thing is they all and in Seattle. So like we see only his parents basically are in Arizona.
So it's like normal for his family to like
they're all spread out. So like the parents just basically hop around and visit all the kids. So that makes it easier. But I think it was harder for him of my whole family perceiving it as like him taking me away.
I was just going to ask you how your family felt.
That is so interesting.
Like my grandma still says that. Like she'll be, or like they'll just make little comments, and I know partly they're like kidding too, but I'm like, no, like I want, like I made him.
I initiated it. Yeah.
Like, just because he's the one that got the job, people think like, oh, he got the job and we moved out there, but it's like it was my idea for him to start looking for a job. Like,
yeah, you were like, you need to get the job so we can move.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember my dad's brother and his wife and my two cousins, my cousin that lives in Colorado now, they moved from Phoenix to Boise, Idaho when my cousin was like 8, so I was like 11 maybe. And it was like this huge, my aunt was interviewing for a job and we were like, holy shit, no, this can't happen. And like, we would always be with my nanny. She was the one who would like have us do sleepovers at her house, and she would take us to McDonald's to play and stuff. Like, and my nanny was cooking dinner one time, and I have this like vivid memory of her being like to my sister, like, I'm praying that Carrie doesn't get the job because she didn't want her son and grandkids to be moving to Boise. And we didn't, because we like literally were all so close.
Yeah.
But then when they moved, obviously we hated it. We were pissed that they were moving. But it created this different dynamic of like intentional spending time together, where like we would go visit for a whole week in the summer. And my dad and uncle got so much closer because they moved apart. Because I think you realize like how important the time together is.
Yeah.
And like then they would come and spend 2 weeks for Christmas, and those were like the best because my cousin would stay with me for 2 whole weeks, like going back and forth to my mom's and dad's with me. And like it just made it like it was almost like a good thing, even though we didn't want it to happen, you know?
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you have a big extended family? Like, are the rest of them in Arizona, or is that basically it?
No,
like, how many aunts and uncles do you have and stuff?
My dad's whole family is in Minnesota. My dad's mom's whole family is in England, and they moved out here by themselves. So it was just
then it was separated.
Their 2 sons and their family. So it was just our like
they left.
Their nuclear family basically.
Wow.
So yeah, that's once they moved, it was like it sucked.
Yeah.
And it's just us.
Has your family, like, have you ever heard your parents talk about wanting to move, or like
no,
they just like love it there?
I think our generation is just like programmed differently. Like I don't think they even thought about moving. Like it's not something that they even ever considered to move.
Well, Well, probably also because they like already settled in Arizona.
Yeah,
too, so
and
it
now
was
like
like
they
separate.
can't.
Yeah, it was like,
and they had kids at such a young age, and they needed their parents to help raise us too. So we've all been like, you know, in a close proximity for the most part.
That's like what I wish we could have done. Is my entire extended family is like in Toronto, England, and Vancouver. And
so crazy.
I always like heard of people like, oh, like they're having sleepovers at their like grandma's house, or they're like hanging out with their cousins, and I'm like, that sounds so much fun. And I think that because they were so much farther away, like, and a bunch of my cousins were like a little bit older than me, we didn't get to like have that same type of closeness that you're talking about, like where you would go to Idaho for a whole week and like spend that quality time with them, because we were like always trying to travel around and like see my parents' friends and family. So it was like whenever we would go, even if we would go for a week, we were like very busy like doing things, and we weren't like just with like one set of cousins the whole time, or like my aunt and uncle. We would just be like bopping around. It was nice that like Ann Arbor to Toronto is like 4.5, 5 hours. So we were able to go a decent amount, but I think that's what I'm like kind of reflecting on, is that I took that time for granted a little bit, because it was like easy to get over to. And then COVID happened, and like I hadn't seen anyone for 4 years until this like 2 weekends ago. And I was like, wow, like I really, really miss this quality family time, and being able to like hear what people are doing with their lives, and like they're engaged or like they're pregnant, and like like my cousin's girlfriend is pregnant. My cousin is pregnant with her second, and then my other cousin is pregnant with her first.
Wow.
And so it's like just big like life changes.
Babies.
And
and where are they both at?
My cousin and his girlfriend, and the one that's pregnant, is in England, and then my cousin who just got married is in England, and then the other cousin,
that's so hard. That's so
is
far.
in Toronto.
Well, that's closer.
So
not to you anymore, but all different countries. So cool.
Dang. How come in like all the movies and shows, there's always so many like family reunions where people come and they're all in their matching shirts, and it's like from all like different countries or all across the country, and it's like a yearly thing. Like I wonder if that actually happens.
I think that's family that's making it happen.
That though.
Did you?
We used to do that much better. Yeah. But then like, but I think my grandparents were kind of the catalyst for that. And since both of them passed like basically during COVID,
that makes sense.
It's like up to the siblings and like them to coordinate it. So I think it just has to be, I'm just thinking about like for the future, like how can I be more intentional with like the time I'm spending with them, or like how can I make the trip? I mean, they all live in like fucking cool places, so it's not like I'm just going to the middle of nowhere. Like, so I think like next year I'm going to try and at least visit one or two of them. Yeah. And not really wait until there's like a family reunion or anything like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of the same with my cousins. Like I'm the youngest of all so on my mom's side, my mom only has one sister, and then there's just two little cousins that are 1 year younger than me and 4 years younger than me, and I'm like very close with them, and they lived with me for several years, and my cousin lived with my mom like the last probably 4 years or something also, besides when we were little. But then on my dad's side, he's one of 5 siblings, and then each of those siblings have like 3 to 5 kids. So I'm the youngest of all of those. Oh. So like there's like 46-year-olds cousins, and I'm like the bottom of it. So
are they all in Tucson?
Yes. So
that's
so
the
weird.
Crazy part.
That's crazy.
But the youngest of each individual family left, which is so weird. Like I have one cousin in Seattle, I have one cousin in Bend, I have one in that went like just the youngest of each family left, which is so interesting.
Of the siblings, so like your dad, like your uncle's kids,
youngest left.
One of the kid. Okay,
yeah,
that is funny.
That is interesting. But everyone else is still there, but they don't see each other as much. Like we used to see each other all the time. Kind of the grandparent thing. Like once my grandma passed away, it was like we stopped having like the big gatherings as much, and like it'd be like we hang out at Christmas Eve and stuff, but it started to be like less people come, and other families start doing things within their own family type of thing.
I guess that's what's hard about having a big family, because I've always had a smaller family. So like you all better be here on Christmas, otherwise there's gonna be no one here, like type of thing. And like
that's so interesting. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. One of the things we did though, my dad like started a group chat with everybody. So everybody in our entire family is in like a WhatsApp group message. And it's been really cool so far. Like it's not super chaotic. It's just like people just kind of share a picture of like what they're doing, or just like a tidbit or like updates so far. I mean, it's only been like 2 weeks, so like we haven't been together.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I should do that for my family. That sounds like so great.
But me and my aunt were talking, and we're like, because I don't know why this took me so long, but I just got my aunt's WhatsApp, the one in England, and I just started like messaging her every once in a while, like, hey, this is like what we're up to, this is what we're doing. And it's just like really special to connect with her again, and just kind of, and it's not like either one of us is trying to like make conversation every single day or like even every single week, but just kind of updates on life. And we were talking, we're like, we have to kind of be the ones to keep up with the message, because of course after a certain period of time people are going to like start to drop off. So if there's like just kind of constant messages, people feel more welcome to just chime in and share updates and things like that. So
wow, that is so cool. Cameron's family has that, and it's like so great. And I'm like, I don't know why my family doesn't do that.
Yeah,
it's such a way to keep everyone together.
It keeps it up. Yeah,
that's also a thing, like with your aunt, like you're saying. I feel like, because I was like, well, I'm the niece, like it's not my responsibility to try to like be close with my aunts and uncles. Like I wouldn't ever call them or like make any effort to see them or anything. And I think now I'm being like, oh, like maybe it is semi on my part to start talking to my aunts and uncles more if I do want that relationship with them.
Yeah, because they probably don't know that you want that relationship.
Yeah.
Like
I also think like they just probably assume that we're so busy and just don't have time for them.
Yeah.
And so if we just like show them like, hey, no, like we'd love to chat or just like share updates and little things. Because then you can like, the other thing that's tough about meeting up every like year is like you're catching up on a whole year of stuff instead of like talking about just things in your life or just like what's going on in your head and having more meaningful conversation. It's just like a full year of catch up, which
that's what me and my brother were talking about in California. Like we both have like very similar anxiety issues, like with a lot of our things, and we both avoid phone calls with people like when we know that it'll be a long phone call. Like I'll ignore my grandma when I only have 15 minutes because I'm like, I can't only talk to her for 15 minutes. Like it's going to be longer than that. So I just don't end up talking to her. And I do that with friends too and with family. But like my brother, I know like he'll call me for 3 minutes sometimes and it'll be just a super short conversation. And I need to like be better about quick things or like just accepting calls and making calls myself more.
Yeah. The phone calls are hard though, because you're like, oh, like I don't know, is this gonna be awkward? I remember like trying to call my grandparents and I never like, I don't know, I wish I did it more often because they loved hearing from us and just like checking in on us and things. But
exactly, like why is it awkward?
I don't know why. I just always felt so awkward, but then it would get even more awkward the more time that I left it. And I was like, now it's gonna be, I don't even know what to talk about. But also my dad and my grandparents are so funny and like they don't like to talk for a long time. Like my dad kicks me off the phone. He's like, gotta go, bye.
That's how
and
my
I'm like,
dad is.
no. I want to keep talking to you.
It's like, why are you calling? What's up? Okay, I gotta go.
I miss you. Like,
Yeah.
Can't we talk?
That's funny.
Except I see my family like every week, so it makes sense that my dad would be like, "What do you want?" Okay, bye.
Are you happy with like the amount you see your family, Dev? Like, do you ever feel like that you saw them less or more? Because I feel like when I was living in Arizona, that I kind of wish that I saw everyone less a bit. No offense.
I do wish that I had like more friends to hang out with. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm so glad that like my family also just wants to hang out with me. Like,
I feel like they also have good boundaries though. Like they're not just like walking in your house.
Oh no. Yeah, they would never.
That's what my family was like.
My mom gets her fucking mail delivered to my house, though. She had like 6 packages dropped off at my house yesterday. And she
Why?
because she doesn't want her ex-husband to know where she lives. It's a whole thing.
Okay, you gotta help a girl out sometimes.
So yeah, I have all of her mail delivered to my house, and then I have to, will you check for this mail? It's delivered and bring it to my house. Like, but yeah, I'm glad that like they always want to hang out with me on the weekends. Yeah. There are some weekends though where I'm like, I don't really want to do anything this weekend. I want to like get work done and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're always like, what are we doing this weekend? But that's nice though, because like I'm not doing that with friends. So it's nice that they want to hang out with me and do stuff on the weekends.
That's true. But I would feel very people pleasing. Like I would feel like I had to, or like if I did hang out with friends instead, I'd be like, oh, I'm a horrible person that I'm choosing my friends over them.
Yeah, I think I would always choose my family over my friends.
That's an oldest daughter's thing, I think, too.
Yeah, because my middle, Lexi, always picks her friends, and we like get annoyed about that. Because
everyone got annoyed with me about that.
I mean, and she'd be, Lexi,
but it's because you were older, so she had to have friends.
But I also, as the oldest, like there was periods of time where I'm like, fuck everyone else. Like I am with my friends. My friends are more important than you guys. Like,
yeah, you definitely go through that period in like middle school or high school where your friends are the most important thing to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's still in that phase though, and she's 28. So,
yeah. Do you guys feel like you like openly talk with your parents and siblings about like any family issues or like past traumas and things?
Yes,
I think I do.
And sometimes it's like very bad timing, like at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yeah, it's like some discomfort brings it up, and you're like, I have to bring this issue up now.
Joe and my brother-in-law like peel out and like go.
That's so accurate.
Like, okay, bye guys. Like, we'll see you in a few hours.
Trying to be involved.
Random, but did you watch season 2 of The Bear, Britt?
Yes.
That dinner Christmas scene. Holy shit.
Yeah. Mine's likely like not like that.
Yeah, no, that's like really bad.
Like pretty catastrophic. But yeah, there's very like ill-timed family drama brought up. But I think I think there's a difference though, like of people that are like they don't ever talk about anything, they don't ever bring it up, and then it's just kind of like you're stuck with it by yourself and you just have to like kind of process it by yourself versus I don't know, I guess I kind of like that we bring it up even if it's like at a bad time, because then at least it's like out in the open and we like can call each other out for it. But I think like all of my family's been going to therapy a little bit more, and so I think it's like easier for us to like have those conversations because we're all more aware of our own shit that we have going on.
Same. Literally, when my siblings were visiting, at one point we were at a bar and something started. I don't even know how it started, but
it's always alcohol.
My sister's crying. They're arguing. I'm trying to mediate at this table. Like it was not shut up. Cameron's like, just what the fuck is going on? My sister's like, I'm sorry, Cam. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm like, it's fine.
I do that too when I'm drinking.
Yeah, but I told them like I think that this is what allows us to be able to be closer now, is to be able to have these conversations. Like the people who aren't having these conversations are like not close. That's how we used to be in our relationship, where we just never talked about anything and then nothing was open.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like when I started drinking with my cousin, that's when we got like so close, because then we were able to be really honest and vulnerable with each other and talk about everything, where like we would usually like avoid talking about like relationships and just like deep things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's so funny. My cousin, my Jaden, she's 4 years younger than me. Like she's probably my closest cousin. She's like a sister. And then her brother is 1 year younger than me, and we were close when we were little, but then like we just kind of separated a bit. He's very religious sometimes, and like I don't know, we just kind of differ, but we're also still close. Like I love him so much and everything. But we were all, the three of us were staying in a room together on this beach trip, and we're like, Jaden's like cussing and just acting like her normal self, and she's like, sorry Justin, I'm gonna be cussing a lot on this trip. And I was like, oh my god, like Justin's about to see the real us on this trip. Like we were fully just acting like our normal selves, and he was a little shook. He's like, can grandma come up here and stay with us and act as a barrier?
Your grandma was there too?
Yeah, my grandma was there, and it was very nice because when we went 5 years ago, she was like, this is my last time at the beach. I'm dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm like, grandma, you said that 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's how they start getting.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Also, oh my god, she's taking edibles for herself and for sleeping and for her pains and everything. And so my mom is giving them to her before bed while we're on the beach and stuff. And I like pretended to like I was gonna take one or whatever. And she's like, you could have a little bite, but I'm out of them. And I was like, how many milligrams are in it? And so like I went to grab the container to see how much was in it and like what kind and everything. My grandma is eating 60 milligrams of edibles every night when like
oh my god,
10 milligrams is a normal size.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like I was so
really take a very teeny tiny bite.
I'm like, grandma, no wonder you're hallucinating and whatnot. And I told my mom, I was like, good thing I didn't eat that. I would have been spiraling. Yeah, it's medical. But and that's like what they told her to take. So yeah, her doctor said that because they want her to eat in the middle of the night. Like she puts snacks next to her bed, but she doesn't even actually eat it. Like I was saying,
because it's too much, it just knocks her out.
Exactly. Like I was saying, you should take less. Like do it during the day more, but take like less. So then she's like actually hungry.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was very funny though.
That is funny.
That's really cool though that she's like able to take that instead, because I think there's like so many older people, they have to take like so many different types of medications, and it's all of them are doing something besides, like they all have bad side effects for the most part. Sure. And the fact that she can take weed or like, you know, marijuana, like it just makes it nicer that she doesn't have to like add another.
For sure. I mean, I think she's still on oxy, but she's weaning off. She's had a lot of surgeries and stuff. Like she's got a lot of screws in her back and whatnot.
So is my grandma. Really? I think. Well, my grandma had scoliosis, so she's had back surgery like twice, I think. I don't know what she has in her back, but her spine is like
so stressful thinking about that, like getting old.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like definitely exercise more and like really move my body more and get into the habit of that, because she never did, and now she's
same with my grandma.
She just like sitting and watching TV, and I'm like, same girly, I feel you.
Yeah,
I know. It's like, because my mom's like hobby and like her third space and her favorite place to be is like the fucking gym.
Really?
And I don't know, I can't be like that. Like I can't get my mind to feel that way. Like, yeah, she'll go to the gym and spend like 3 hours there doing shit. Like,
was she always like that?
Mm-hmm.
So like
I grew up in the gym daycare. Yeah.
But you like went away from it rather than like wanting to be like that, kind of?
I think because my workout growing up was gymnastics. I mean, I was like tortured into conditioning my body until I was 12 or 13. And then like dance was my workout, and that's so fun. Like I just don't find like workouts fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
What if you did Zumba?
I hate Zumba.
I used to.
What about bar class?
I want to try bar.
You probably would like
I might
bar
like
class.
it. Yeah.
But
still, it's not learning choreography, and, like dancing and like releasing your like feelings in dance.
Do you have any of those like dance studios?
No, like if I lived in LA or something, they have classes for adults, but here it's like just for kids.
Scottsdale's got some.
Maybe. Well, I'm not going to drive to Scottsdale twice a week to do a dance class. I mean, I'm just like making excuses now at this point, but I'm just trying to figure out why I don't like the gym.
Does she have like a nice gym? I'm like very.
I go to her
keen
gym.
On like
we go to Lifetime
gym.
Yeah,
like I want like a scented face towel and.
Isn't
like,
that one bougie that you go to, Dev? Don't they like serve food by the pool?
Yeah, Lifetime. It's expensive. And yeah, they have a shit ton of classes. Like,
do you pay for it?
The more people you have on one membership,
Oh.
the cheaper it is. So I think I pay like $50
nice.
a month, but my mom pays like $120 a month or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That is very nice. I don't know if I don't know. I'm enjoying personal training right now, but there's definitely a period of time where I like loved going to the gym, and I would just like do 2 classes and just like relax and take a nice shower. But
I also think
it's more of
anxiety.
It's a timing thing. Like it's not like I don't think it's something that you can. It has to become like a habit, I guess.
Yes,
like
that's I can't make it a habit.
Yeah,
and I don't like leaving my house for more than 2 hours. I mean, and I go to the gym for 1 hour, but like I could never be that person that's like, I'm gonna spend the afternoon at the gym.
No,
like
no.
Yeah.
Also unnecessary.
I know.
You don't gotta spend 3 hours.
And maybe one day we'll figure out how to be addicted to the gym.
It's also the confidence though for me. Like if I was fully confident walking in, knowing what I was doing, knowing that like, yeah, just that I knew what I was doing and that people around, I guess, would look at me and be like, oh, she's fine. Like that's all it is. Like, because I'm just so concerned that I won't be good at it or that people will judge me, I guess, or that I'll look down.
And the people on the treadmills do be judging.
I do be judging.
That's because they have nothing else to do. It's so fucking painful to be on a treadmill.
Yeah,
I know.
Just like distract yourself from the pain.
Yeah. But really, nobody actually does judge. Like you're really focusing on yourself and what other people are thinking of you.
Yeah, I'm not like being mean. I'm like, oh, good for them doing that.
Same. Yeah, or like that's a cute outfit.
I went to the gym this weekend, Friday or something, and there was someone famous at the gym, but I don't know who it was because I wasn't about to go looking around for them. But these young kids that work there at the gym, I saw them like jumping up and down and like holding their phones, like being like, oh my God. And they were showing each other pictures on their phones. And then I saw these 2 other girls that work there taking a picture really quick with a guy. And then he walked away. And I have no idea who it was. My little sister said that it might have been Noah Beck because he has friends here. She's friends with one of his friends that lives here, and he takes him to Lifetime or something. It was a guy, and I tried to like wait on the treadmill by the stairs for as long as I could to see if the guy would leave, but
damn, low-key, you would look really cute with Noah Beck. You'd be a cute couple.
Oh, thanks.
He's so cute.
He is cute. I don't know if it was like, him, but
does he live in LA though? Or he just has like friends in? Yeah. How far is LA from?
For some reason? It's like a 6-hour drive from here. 45-minute flight.
The flight to San Diego was so nice. Like I've never flown to San Diego. It was like just a casual 2 hours.
Oh, for me, it's nice. It's like almost not even worth having to like go in the airport and deal with all that crap.
My whole family flew from Phoenix. I was like, why? I don't really know why.
Sometimes we fly. It's just like, I don't know, both. It's like just short enough of a trip to just be a pain in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
Even driving like 6 hours, it's like, oh, we have a whole, like, ugh.
It's like a whole day, yeah.
The 6 hours is a hard one.
It is.
Because it's like basically an hour or like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours longer in the airport.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's like, is it worth it to fly? Or we just like alternate. Yeah. And depending if my sister's dog comes, like,
yeah. We are going to drive to Texas in October. And I'm like, not really looking forward to it. I think it's like 16 hours.
I could never. I get so bored in the car.
You're breaking it up into multiple days, right? Obviously.
Yeah. But it's just like annoying to like think about. Like,
yeah, it is.
We're like trying to plan all of our travel and like everything that we're doing.
I still really want to drive home for Christmas, but
drive?
How far is that?
I want Cameron to drive.
That is really far.
To passenger princess home. It is really far.
And
It
then you have to
probably
drive
won't
back.
happen. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and put the dogs in boarding on Christmas. But like something in my head is like, I don't want them to be alone on Christmas, even though they have no fucking idea what Christmas even is or the day.
That is hard.
It's a little silly. Britt, do you like when you're with your family, like, do you then plan the next time? Like, I think that is something that really helps me and my family is like always knowing the next time that we'll see each other after.
So that's like what we did this year with my dad. So my dad's thing is like ACL. So we're gonna see my mom, but like we're gonna like hang out with my dad most of the time. And then we plan Christmas. So we have like that on the books. And then we just booked a ski trip in February for everyone.
Oh, fun.
Oh, fun. Good.
So
that's a lot of work.
That I think is really helpful. But now it is a little like I think two things are kind of hard is like having two families to kind of coordinate with. And like how many times can we see everybody through the year? Because we're going to see Joe's family at Thanksgiving. And then I don't know what, like we normally do a March trip. So we have like one holiday with them and then like we have a March ski trip with them. But then that's like there's so many other months to kind of figure out. So
yeah,
that's kind of hard.
Have you guys
Do you
seen
find it like
those,
hard to split time?
Yeah. And like we were planning on going back for Christmas, but Cameron's parents are gonna go to Colorado. So we're like, okay, we're gonna make the whole trip and then like not even be able to see Cam's family. So then it's like trying to split that. And then with his siblings, it's so hard. Like I've never even been to either of his older siblings' houses. Like never. Which is weird.
Do you see them though? Like do they come down or?
No, not like they've never visited us and we've never visited them. So it's just kind of the occasional holiday. Like it was last Thanksgiving we saw them and then in Cabo we saw them. But it's kind of just like maybe once a year, every other year. With COVID also, I feel like that was also hard, you know, like that was years. So that put like a damper in things. But it is hard to split. But honestly, it's harder to split my family of like I also have two families and then like kind of three.
That's what I was just thinking.
Have a different mom. So
yeah,
like,
that's what I was gonna ask you guys. Like, what have you done with that? Because you like have two separate things to coordinate with your families.
It's not fun at all. Which is also another reason I wanted to move. like
yeah,
it's kind of nice to be away.
Yeah, we talked about that, like having the pressure of like feeling like you have to satisfy both families. Like on Thanksgiving, I literally just split the day in half between my mom's and my dad's. And I'll be like at my mom's house and everybody will be getting there. And it's like, we're having a great time. We're playing cornhole. And then it's like, shoot, I have to get to my dad's house or he's going to be offended. Like, I mean, my dad's cool about it, but like, it's like, I have to leave everybody and I'm having such a great time to go to my dad's house. And like, I have fun at my dad's house and stuff, but it's still like just this
it's a leaving
people pleasing thing of like,
and
like expectation of like, sorry, I have to leave. And go here.
Is it hard for like you, like, do you feel like you have Lexi's your like other sister that does that with you, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like connected, like that you at least have each other to like figure that out with? Because like your two youngest siblings don't have to do that, right?
No.
Like they're just at your dad's house the whole day.
My mom's.
Your mom's house the whole day.
So like, yeah, then I'm leaving them and that happens every Christmas too. It's
that
like
would be really hard.
Yeah.
Especially when they were little.
Yeah, it sucked. My mom cried. My mom cried every Christmas morning when we left. See, my mom's one making me feel guilty about leaving and shit.
Yeah. Have you tried like other things? Like where you do Thanksgiving Eve with your dad?
I was talking to my mom about this last year, I think, because we were talking about this. And I was like, we could literally do Thanksgiving on any day. Why don't we just do it on a different day so we can be together all day long? But it's also hard when you have other people like my uncle and his partner and my grandma and like they only have Thanksgiving off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
and something about Thanksgiving and Christmas are like the two holidays where it feels like it needs to be on that day for some reason.
I know.
Like,
My sister was suggesting we do like Christmas the week before, and I was like, no.
I know it does, like,
Yeah,
because
like,
everybody else, especially with social media, it's like I want to be doing it when everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, and you got a countdown, and then there's Christmas Eve, but the New Year's is after, so like there's not a lot of time to make like a fake type Christmas. But apparently when I was little, like I didn't even realize, because I stayed at my mom and dad's, but my siblings had to go to their moms or would still be at their moms for some holidays. So like several of my Christmases were actually on Christmas Eve or something. But like I didn't even realize that or know it at the time.
Yeah.
That's funny.
As
so
a kid,
Santa just came a day early.
Yeah, but like I didn't even know.
Wow, that's really generous of him.
It is.
Just really accommodating blended families.
Yeah, but I think that is like a smart thing to do, especially when like going to visit everybody, to have it be separate days is nice. But then the bad thing about that is like, say we're staying 5 days. That's kind of what we did for this like in March when we did it. It was like, okay, this day's Cameron's family, this day's my dad, this day's my mom, this day's Cameron's family. And then it's like we're going for 5 days and we're only seeing my mom once at the same time. So it's kind of odd to do that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That's like so, that's what we're kind of trying to figure out for this ACL trip, is how we can like make the most of time with each parent.
Also, a schedule is like very helpful. Like I would highly recommend a schedule for people if they're doing that, of like, and then sending it to everyone so the expectations are there, because otherwise like my siblings would be like, well, you're gonna go do that, like you're not gonna stay with us. I'm like, no, you knew ahead of time, from this time to this time I'm gonna be with Cameron's family, or from this time to this time we're at my mom's, from this time to this time we're gonna be with that. Like then everyone
that's
knows.
I think it's hard because we also, when we go to like Austin, for example, Joe and I like doing stuff by ourselves too. So it's like we want to do things just us, and then we want to do things with the family, and then we want to do things with my mom and my dad.
You're not allowed to do things by yourself. Your family needs you to be with them the whole time.
That is what's so weird. That's why I love that about Cameron, is he has like zero fucking people pleasing in that sense with his family. Like he'll be like, okay, me and Maggie are gonna go to lunch at this place. Like I would never do that while
like
I'm
if my cousin
family.
did that, if my cousin like was visiting with her boyfriend and they were like, I'm gonna go to lunch, or we're gonna go to lunch, we'll see you in a couple hours, I would probably be like, okay, cool, actually, because I need some time to myself. But also in the back of my mind I'd be like, what? No, I'm coming. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like I could not do that to my family. Like they would be like, wait, what? No, like you're here visiting. Yeah. Obviously we're gonna go together.
We did that to my sister one time and she was so pissed, and I was like, we're just doing it. We're just gonna go explore and go by ourselves.
But like you need to sometimes.
But we did. But after she did get mad, we started setting the expectation that like, hey, we're gonna go do some of these things by ourselves.
Yeah, as long as you don't like say it as you're walking out the door and be like, on this day we're gonna go explore by ourselves.
No, we did that the first time, and then when she got upset, we were like, okay, fair.
Okay, we need to
do
actually tell her.
We'll tell her next time. That was a little easier. But
that's funny. We should have everybody go join the Facebook group if you haven't yet, and like we should make a post and ask people if they've moved away from their families or not. And
we should make that a poll on Spotify.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. If you're listening on
answer
Spotify,
the question
answer the poll.
and answer the poll.
I wonder, like percentages. I think that's so interesting, and I would love to know, like throughout history, kind of, or like in the U.S., I guess. I feel like with technology, that's kind of when people started moving away from home a lot more, and like really spacing out families, when it used to be like you'd live in multi-generational homes and like be living with your parents forever.
I was going to say about the weird thing about living in Arizona, which most people, when you go up to them in Phoenix, you ask them where they're from. Like most people do not grow up in Phoenix. And so that's weird that your whole family is in Phoenix, because like my great grandma is the one who moved away from her family in Ohio to Phoenix for whatever reason. And then my dad's dad is the one who moved away from Minnesota to Arizona. So it was just like, we're kind of secluded being in Phoenix, because people don't grow up in Phoenix. I don't know why. Like it's a newer state, maybe. I guess that's why.
I think it started with my grandparents all. Yeah.
So your grandparents and their whole families came?
Oh,
like
okay.
their siblings came too?
No, not siblings. So like we actually just saw one of my grandma's siblings when we were in California, but like my grandma grew up in LA for partly, and then I think Ohio also. So like she has siblings across the country, and she's the only one in Arizona.
Yeah. So like, so then you have a couple more generations here, but like it's weird because generations do not go back far when you're in Phoenix, Arizona, or Tucson, anywhere in Arizona. Like the generations either stop at like my great grandma, your great grandma.
1948?
That's so interesting.
1942? I feel like it was the 40s or 50s.
That's let me see, because that's crazy.
Maybe it's 1840 something.
Yeah.
I just recall like where you have to color in on like Arizona's birthday. They give you like a coloring sheet at school.
1912.
Oh shit.
Which is crazy because my great grandma was born in what, the 20s?
20s, yeah.
So that makes sense that so like when you see movies of families and like there's a million people coming together for Christmas back east, like that's
they were
common,
settled
but like
there.
when you're over here, in Arizona,
that is so
it's
interesting. Like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've only thought about it like culturally, like of like I feel like white people just typically don't stay together as much. Like usually it's
I think it's because Arizona's a new state.
Wow. That's very interesting. Do you guys think you would like to do that? Like could you imagine living in a house forever and like having your parents live with you and grandparents and like
I would like to live like in a community. But not in the same house. I'm very particular about how my house is and stuff. I like to be alone. I don't even like when my sister is home when I'm like during the day doing my thing. Like I would
out
need
of my house.
A compound.
Yeah, that's what I would be fine with more is like a compound with space.
I think like being in the same city is good.
I mean, I could be like the Kardashians where they all live in Hidden Hills in the same
in the same town.
That would be
the same town is good.
Me and my mom have this plan that we're going to move into the same neighborhood and buy like really nice houses across the street from each other. And then she's going to get a management job where she just works from home, and then I'll have a baby and she can help me.
Like that sounds like a great plan.
10-year plan.
I was like, Dad, you should move into my neighborhood. Like, I was like, there's houses for sale. Like, just buy one.
I can buy my summer home there.
Yes, you should. I would love that because my dad would like not come over. Like I would literally have to beg to hang out.
Neither would my dad.
And it would be just perfect because
why are dads so weird?
I don't know.
I have to beg my dad to stay away. I have the opposite problem.
Your dad's like, okay, I'm coming next week. And you're like, wait, what?
Literally for a month. Like for our wedding, he's like, I think I should come 2 weeks before. I'm like, for what? Like, you do not need to come 2 weeks before. That sounds so stressful. No.
You're like, that's not necessary.
No,
Britt,
not
is
at
your dad
all.
married?
No.
Okay, so that's why you just want him to come move to Colorado.
Yeah.
Does he have a girlfriend or no?
Not anymore, no. But he just bought a lake house in Austin, so that'll be fun to go to.
That will be
I just
so
think
fun.
that we have like such a good relationship, and he's just like my best friend. So
that is so cute.
I think it would just be fun to have him around.
Yeah,
we could just like go do things together, go on bike rides, just fix up my house every weekend.
When we were in San Diego, my mom was like, are we going to have a mom or dad's episode of the podcast? And she wants to be on it. So if you want to hear our parents on the pod, let us know.
That would be interesting.
It'd be so interesting.
It makes me kind of nervous.
I know. I feel like we need like listener questions of like, I don't know, like what would we even want to know?
We could play that like newlywed game thing where like you ask them a question and we know the answer and we see if their answer is the same as ours.
True. I feel like it would just be our moms like complimenting us for an hour and a half.
I don't know if my mom would do that.
What side of your mom would come out on the episode?
I don't know, honestly.
That's
funny.
so funny.
Because my mom's like very social and can talk to anyone. Like everybody loves her, but also she's not like she is a people pleaser, and she's not like pushy or like she's not gonna talk over anyone or like speak if she's not spoken to kind of thing.
So is my mom.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be a good dynamic. It would be really interesting,
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't know. But you know that TikToker May or whatever? Her name?
Yes.
I think it's like she just bought that house for her whole
I
family, and
know.
like her grandma's living there and everything. And like I think that's so sweet and cool.
Yeah,
Like that's
me
so
too.
amazing that she could do that.
Yeah.
I would love to have a little bit more of that within our culture, because it's so true that like the American culture is to just, I have my nuclear family and that's all I care about, and we're going to move away and we'll see you once a year type of thing. Like I
And
definitely.
then with your parents of like just sending them to homes type of thing, it's so different than like you taking care of them forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder though, like my grandparents ended up going into like a type of home, but it was very much like their own apartment.
Yeah, like
and then they would have like
nurse.
Yeah, then they would have like nurses and support staff come and like help them and serve them dinner and stuff.
Those places are still depressing as fuck.
It's so depressing still, but I think they really liked it. And they were still able to like go out and do like walks with their dog and everything like that. But I think that it was probably a better decision for like the relationship between like my dad's siblings and their parents, because they would go like multiple times. Like my uncles that live in Toronto would go multiple times a week to visit them. And I think there was still like a lot of connection and time spent with them, but they weren't responsible for like the everyday things that
like changing
nurses,
diapers,
a lot of nurses, and like just bandaging and doing whatever they needed to do, like medications.
That's another complexity that I kind of want to talk about when you're moving away, is that when you don't live in the same city, you're not like, it's not your job. You're like given a pass to not have to be there to take care of them all the time. Like I remember when my nanny was sick, my cousin lived in Colorado. She was going to college, and like I felt so guilty for not visiting my nanny enough in like her rehab. But like my cousin had that. My cousin still feels guilty, but like she still had that like pass of like, well, I don't live 30 minutes away. No, I live 2 hours.
It's the exact same as my grandma.
Away.
Yeah, it's like you feel guilty, but like it is. So my past.
Yeah,
that is really hard.
I think the trick with homes is like they need to go before they need it, where they're like making the decision themselves of like, oh, this is going to be like a fun thing, and the community and the activities and whatnot are fun. It's like once their brain reaches that point where they're like so stubborn and opposed, then it's like just not good. My dad is literally like, if I go crazy, send me to Florida and don't ever come see me. Like,
oh God.
Yeah.
Because both my parents, like them dealing with their parents has been really hard to handle. Like, and it's weird seeing people's like personalities change too. Like my mom's like so sweet, and I can't imagine her one day being like sassy and stuff, but my grandma's the same way. Like she was always so sweet, and now she just like speaks her mind. Like she just does what she wants. Like my cousin was saying she was gonna go walk down to the beach by herself, and my grandma was like, no, you can't do that, there's homeless people out there. And my cousin was like, what are they gonna do, Grandma? She's like, slit your throat. You're like, okay, Grandma, chill out.
My great grandma was always like that and remained like that in her home thing.
Like, I hope I want to do that. It sounds cool. Or like on Armchair Expert, they did that one about the Florida community.
Oh yeah.
Did you listen to that episode? And it's like
White
thousands of people live like neighborhoods with restaurants. Like it's
that
also
is a big community.
Yeah. I think that would be a good move. I think that's what my dad would want. Like more autonomy. But also people. That's the other thing too, is I think when you're like not at home, some of the more like day-to-day things are like health. Like when you're calling, like my dad's like not wanting to update me on like, hey, I'm not doing well with this and this. Like he's
For
like
sure.
wanting to talk about other stuff. So sometimes like I hear things after the fact and I'm like, why didn't you tell me this? And it just like doesn't come up because when we do talk, that's not really what they want to like bring up in conversation.
That's maybe one of the worst parts I think about living away is like I do feel out of the loop like quite frequently. Like just little things will be mentioned or they'll like be talking about or just even like the people's houses change slightly. Like you get a new couch. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you got a new couch. Like just
like offended that you didn't know that they got a new couch. Like
yeah.
yeah.
It feels weird. Because you're used to being so involved in everything, and then it's like, oh, are you having conversations without me? Or like I make it a point, my family, whenever they're like going to have dinner and stuff, they still always text in the group chat with me in it. Because like I don't like the thought of them having a separate group chat where they're like planning dinner. Like I'm trying to know when they're going to dinner.
Yeah, I would be that way too. That like my family is the only place that I really have that FOMO.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I guess if you guys were going out to lunch, I would be jealous.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to go hang out with friends tomorrow by myself.
What friends?
That's really exciting.
The flag football girlfriends.
Oh, cute.
But without the boys. We're going to go to wineries. I'm excited.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday already. Holy shit.
I know.
I don't like that.
It is so fun.
Crazy. Well, any other final thoughts?
I think I got everything out.
I know.
Yeah.
I just feel like we could do multiple episodes on this, I'm sure.
I know.
I think so. It's so interesting. Like, we just all have such different experiences with it. But I don't think that there's, like, any one way to do it or, like, any right way to do it.
Yeah, but also the weird thing is we're all still so young. It's like, what else will happen throughout our lives? Like, what other places might we move or move back? Or, like, Devin could be in, like, a random country and I could move back to Arizona forever. And then, like, she would end up having a way more jet-setting life.
Yeah, I highly doubt that, but
maybe.
You never know.
It could happen.
When
maybe
I'm an
Ellie
author.
Goulding will whisk you away on tour.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Okay, well, go join our Facebook community so you can go answer that question because I'm actually very curious to know like what percentages, and if you're listening on Spotify, answer the poll. But thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us. Leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.